welcome. Welcome, everyone. What a beautiful Sunday morning it is today. It's gorgeous. I am a light, I am a light. I am a light, I am a light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am a 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 light. I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I've left behind. I am light. I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much to Kev Choice and Valentina Aremono. Thank you so much. Good morning. I am happy to see all of you here at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. I am Maureen French. I am a licensed practitioner here. I am the board president, and I'm just so happy to be here. So, welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. A special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the very first time. If you're here for the first time, if you could raise your hand. Our ushers have a packet to give you. There was one person in the back who already has one. Yay, welcome. Also, a big welcome to everyone who is joining us on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Please make sure that you sign up for our weekly newsletter so you can learn all about the fun things we have to offer here at Oakland Center. We respectfully acknowledge that here in the Bay Area, we gather on the traditional land of the indigenous Ohlone people. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded these lands for countless generations. Now let's take a moment to bless our children wherever they are. We bless all the children in our community and the world. We love you. We see you. We know the truth of who you are. You are unique expressions of God, and we are grateful to have you in our lives, and so it is. Wednesday night oasis, November 22nd, Crystal Fry will continue the discussion on the profane. Meditation is at 6:30 p.m. and service is at 7 p.m. by Zoom. If you have not yet heard Crystal speak, it is really a great gift to our community, so please be sure to log in and be with her. We are opening the sanctuary. Come meditate, pray, and/or walk the labyrinth in sacred contemplation. Bring your grief, pain, joys, and sorrows. The sanctuary will be open on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., starting November 21st and 23rd. This is including the Thanksgiving Day holiday, and it'll go on weekly thereafter. A host will be in the sanctuary at those times to help guide you and pray for you. If you would like to be on the rotation schedule to be the person here in the sanctuary to welcome people, please contact Susan Brecker at sbrecker@oaklandcsl.org. The center will be closed on November 23rd and 24th for the Thanksgiving holiday. Enjoy the day of gratitude with your family and friends. There will not be a Thanksgiving meal at the center this year. The bookstore will be open on November 26th, the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Please be sure to pick up your photos from your Dia de los Muertos altar, thank you, altar from Eliza in the courtyard after service. Please be sure to visit our website at oaklandcsl.org for more details about the activities happening at the center. Sign up for our weekly newsletter, The Village News, by clicking on the I'm New button. Remember to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for special updates and content you'll only find by liking and subscribing to the Oakland Center. And now please stand if you're able and let us recite together our vision and mission statement. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. And so it is. And now, Teresa Gardner.
Thanks, Maureen. Well, hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Teresa Gardner. I'm a ministerial candidate, and my pronouns are she, hers, and they. It's good to be here. Good to see you all. So I have a couple of readings. So if you want, you can let's just settle in a little deeper now. Close your eyes if you want to. The first one, what? Someone said something. Okay, here we are. Right here. Good. Neil Donald Walsh. It has been said that if you don't see God in the profane and the profound, well, you're missing half the story. This is the great truth. God is in the sadness and the laughter, in the bitter and the sweet. There is a divine purpose behind everything, and therefore, a divine presence in everything. Our next reading is by Mircea Eliade. The experience of sacred space makes possible the founding of the world, where the sacred manifests itself in space. The real unveils itself. The world comes into existence. But the eruption of the sacred does not only project a fixed point into the formless fluidity of profane space, a center into chaos. It also affects a break in plane. That is, it opens communication between the cosmic planes, between earth and heaven. Beautiful. So let's go into prayer together. So grateful for the cosmos, for that one creator that is present. Oh my goodness, always, no matter what. There's this one presence, one love that is everywhere present. There is no place where God, the divine, the beautiful, Holy Mother, there is no place where it is not. It is everywhere, everything, the stars, the moon, the air, the earth, the universes, the very presence of everything we see, feel, and hear. It is divine, it is holy, and all the power is right within it and everywhere present. All the wisdom, all the beauty, all the joy, all the bittersweet. There's one presence here. That is my life. Always, always, and everything. And it is the life of each of us here in my voice and throughout. It is our life now. And it is forever, eternally our life. I'm grateful to know this. I'm grateful to know that it is a blessing, and today is a blessing, this service. As we all come together with open hearts and open minds as we listen to our beloved Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle. We open up, we listen, we take it in. We unfold perfectly. Let ourselves be healed, delighted in it all. I call this day good. Because back of everything, it is good. Spirit is right here. I give great thanks for all the beautiful hearts and minds, all the hands that went into this service, the beautiful musicians that help us, assist us, deliver the beauty and joy that we open up to this morning. We take a good breath. We breathe it in. We are grateful for this day. As I let go, release my words of the beauty and love that is present right here in truth. I let go. God's on the job. And so it is.
Thank you for sending me an angel straight from heaven. When my hope was gone, you made me strong. Thank you for being amazing, teaching me to hold on, blessed from above, with a heart full of love. We both know you'll find your own way. It's the way the flower grows. A mother's love will protect you from only so much. People change, so put your faith in God. We both know life will bring, but a good heart will bring you the best things. Something to laugh about, nothing but peace. A moment of happiness will last forever. Thank you for sending me an angel straight from heaven. When my hope was gone, you made me strong. Thank you for being amazing, teaching me to hold on, blessed from above, with a heart full of love. We are blessed with the power of love. It's the real thing. We're God's children, so follow your heart. In harmony we are building a tower of love. You're my angel, straight from heaven. When my hope was gone, you made me strong. Thank you for being amazing, teaching me to hold on, blessed from above, with a heart full of love. Thank you for sending me an angel. Thank you for sending me an angel.
Such beautiful music this morning. Thank you so much, Valentina. Pleasure to meet you. Hi, I'm Reverend Sunshine. Nice to meet you. I didn't get to hug you before I got here. Thanks, Kev. Thank you so much. To all of you, welcome this Sunday morning. I'm so glad to be here. I'm Reverend Sunshine Michelle, if I haven't met you yet today. And today I'm choosing to identify as a child of God. That's my pronouns, a child of God. That's who I am. I'm so excited to be here today. There are so many things that I could and want to say, but I'm going to narrow them to a few before I get into the talk. First off, I was away last week, and I did. Reverend Jerry, you're right. I see her. She's somewhere in the house. There she is. Reverend Jerry gave the talk last week, and she said I would be watching the recording, and I did. So thank you for the birthday acknowledgement and for all your greetings that you gave to me, and it was a lovely service, so I really appreciate that. Wanted to acknowledge that. As well as Together We Shine concert. How many were in the house? How many were here? Oh my goodness. If you weren't here, you missed it, and you can probably still feel the seat jumping where you're sitting. We had an almost packed house. I was glad about that. Next time we're going to fill the house, right? We're going to fill the house. It was so beautiful. Oh my goodness. It was so, so beautiful. There's so many people I would love to thank, and I really don't want to leave anybody out. Y'all know I'm big on acknowledgement. So let me just suffice it to say it took so many people to plan that. From before and during and even afterwards, we're still kind of pulling things together. So let me just say it this way, if you were a volunteer, I'm glad you're standing, Linda, because you were here on Friday night. If you were a volunteer for Friday's night's concert, please stand. Let us recognize you. And all those who are not standing, I see a few who didn't stand. I see the maestro in the house, Kev. It was beautiful. Thanks for curating it, all the music. It was so, so lovely, so lovely. I'm so proud. I am so proud. And your music this morning touched me in a way where I can say that I am just so proud to be here. Y'all do things. All I had to do was show up. And I said, tell me what you want me to do. And they told me. Paul had my role laid out. Go stand there, Rev. Go do this. So let me also acknowledge, excuse me, that next week is what I'm calling Thanksgiving and Receiving in the law of circulation. You know, some folks say that Thanksgiving, yes, things were taken away from some people, you know, when we look at the indigenous culture. So there's controversy for some around Thanksgiving, the holiday, and there's celebration and family that comes together. So it's, you know, a little bit of the both and. So I want to acknowledge Thanksgiving. And if you have family coming in to visit you for Thanksgiving and receive them, bring them to church. If they're going to be here on Sunday, bring them to church next week. And there's two events that I want to acknowledge. First off, last week, a week ago, Saturday, was Veterans Day. And I want to acknowledge those who have served our country or are serving our country now. You know, we're in the midst of those times of war still. And so I want to take a moment to see if there's any veterans in the house that we can acknowledge. If you're willing to stand or raise your hand, is there anybody? I see a few. Let's give them some love. There we go. Hi, live streamers. When I ask any question about in the room, I'm asking it of you too. So even though you're at home or wherever you are, you can stand if it applies to you. So let's take a moment of silence for all those who have gone on, who were veterans and served our country in times of war and chaos. Let us just send them some love as ancestors. Blessed be. We thank you for that. The other event that I'd like to acknowledge next week is Day of Remembrance for our transgender community, who don't receive the love that they necessarily need, want, or deserve, and have experienced so much violence against them as a community. So I want to lift them up, lift our family up, our transgender family. So let us take a moment, another moment of silence, to send them love wherever they may be. Blessed be. Thank you so much. And now I like to have us take a breath together before we go into the talk, a collective breath, so that we can clear ourselves and receive the word and be in collective consciousness. So right where you are, exhale your breath. Let your breath go. And now take in a nice deep breath, filling your lungs slowly and easily. Hold it at the top. Let it out with a sigh. Twice more. Taking in another deep breath. Hold it. Let it out with a sigh. Once more, a little deeper. Hold it more. A bigger sigh. Now allow the gift of the breath of life to simply flow in and out easily and smoothly as it was intended. The God qualities that will be highlighted in the talk today, I have quite a few, and you can hear through the talk if you can pick these up. We're talking about the profane today, so a worldly and unworldly. Common sense. Did you know common sense is a God quality? Well, it is now. Understanding, love, breakthrough. Michael Beckwith says you have to break down sometimes to break through. Healing, worthiness, and respect. Our annual theme that we're continuing to work on is living out loud. This is through our Centers for Spiritual Living, our global themes team. This month, we're talking about the mundane, the sacred, and the profane. Oh my. Today's topic is the profane. And it worked me over. So I'm going to see if I can work you over a little bit too. But first, let's do some call and response. Should you be willing, I will give you 3 little affirmation statements, and you can repeat them after me. You ready? Okay. I open my views and expand my consciousness. I'll break this one down. I embrace the profane. Disguised as the opportunity for understanding and wisdom. The last one, breaking it down. I allow everything that no longer serves my highest good to be released and healed. Just breathe that in and be with it. I don't want you to just say it because I asked you to. I want you to embody it and let it be a part of your life. So the mundane, the sacred, and the profane. At the beginning of the month, I gave you my 3 definitions. Let me briefly repeat those again because we're tying this whole thing together. The mundane is the ordinary. It's the normal and what oftentimes is dull, right? Unexciting, boring, something done by rote, same old, same old. That's the mundane. The sacred is generally that which is divine and is held with reverence. It's holy. And as Reverend Jerry mentioned last week in her talk, the sacred is a connection to all that is, the very essence of life's activities. So the profane is the secular space other than the divine, sometimes considered obscene and worldly. And that's what I'm talking about today, is the profane. These themes go together. They seem separate, but they're together. And like it or not, it's all God. When we say everything is God, we're not playing. And you say, really, they're profane? Yes, they're profane, and that's what I'm going to break down. So when I was looking at the profane, I think of the human piece of the thing. You know, we're human and we're divine. We're human and we're living the spiritual. So when you look at the human piece of it, that, in my mind, is where the profane comes. Because when you put us together and mix it up, that's where the cussing and the fussing comes, right? That's where the road rage comes from. That's where the things that, I know we all have some expletives in there somewhere. Even the introverts. The extroverts, you just hear more of it. It's buried in there, but you know what? If you don't get that stuff out, then it festers inside. But then when you get it out, sometimes it keeps rolling, and then, you're out of control. That profane can make you be out of control. This is where judgment happens. Criticism, sarcasm, mean-spiritedness. The profane can include when we defile something or disdain, irreverence, contempt, defacement. I remember my son Freddie, what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking when you deface something, that's where graffiti usually comes from. And as an artist, when he was a teenager, he took up graffiti so that he could help demystify graffiti, because graffiti does not have to mean that you're defacing something. It could mean that you're doing something positive, right? But we take these things on from this mean-spirited place. Profanity, profane, before I get to profanity, I'm getting there. Profane is to violate the sanctity of. To violate the sanctity of. To do something that is inappropriate, disrespectful. You getting the idea? Y'all know about profane. Profanity is the act or the quality of being profane. It's conduct or language, a profane act or utterance. That's why, we can, even if you don't say anything, if you do this, and, some people use some fingers that they wave around at people to tell them what they think about them. All that is profane and profanity. But the truth of it is, it's all in there. Like it or not, we're spiritual beings, sacred beings, and the human experience. We're gonna do both. And as Valentina was singing, I Am Light. I love that India Arie song. I am light. That's what that song is about. If we realize in turn when we're in those moments of being profane and using profanity, if we remember our sacredness, we can remember that we are light. And we can dispel that sense of darkness that takes us to that place where we can spiral out of control. And how do we do that? Through forgiveness. To forgive ourselves for going there in that moment and losing our mind with rage and thinking bad thoughts about that person over there that we wanted to do something terrible to. How could you think that? You're a sacred being. Let yourself think that, because it might happen as humans. It's embracing ourselves the way we are. So that kind of tees up for me this story I'm about to tell you. Two stories, actually. It serves as a preface, I guess you could say. So how many of you, we're in Oakland, beautiful Oakland, I know the answer to this already. By a show of hands, how many of you have been near Lake Merritt? Right, I'd expect almost everybody's hand to go up. And so there's a newer part of Lake Merritt where that little amphitheater is over there by the museum, where you can look out over the water. And there is what I'm calling a memorial or a tribute that is there. And I was walking the lake, it's been a while back, and I stopped and took pictures of this memorial. Some of you may have seen it. I thought it was very, very beautiful, and I wanted to read. I have pictures of it, so I was able to transcribe what it says. And on this memorial or this tribute, it says, this memorial, and we probably have a picture up there. I asked Helene to make a slide for me. This memorial is dedicated to Black and brown lives taken by the police and vigilantes since the beginning of George Floyd rebellion on May 25th of 2020. So what you're seeing is it's 4 sides to this little tribute. Has anybody seen this? Yeah? Okay. Has anybody read it? Okay, well good, I'm glad you have, because I'm going to read it to you again. It's so important. Now, I want you to get why I'm sharing this with you. It's not just about this tribute in what I just read. It was erected because of the violence that was happening a couple of years ago that actually, unfortunately, continues. And it just struck me as being something so poignant even now. Just like in the civil rights movement, things were happening that are happening now. In World War I, World War II, things are happening now. It's happening now. So I'm going to read it to you, and I want us to know that it's about what is happening right now. And you'll get why I'm saying, including it in this talk about the profane. What one of those sides says is, at a time when the contradictions in our society are laid bare for all to see, we would like to mark this as the beginning of a new era where the struggle for freedom made a turning point. From this day forward, we commemorate those who have been killed and held prisoner by state violence, both past and present, by remembering their stories and continuing the resistance. To honor the lives lost, far too many to be listed here, including those that we may never know. We will continue to struggle for our collective liberation until we see the end of white supremacy and police authority. Then, on another side, when you walk all the way around it, it says, the caption says, the world we live in today. And what it says is, we currently live in a world where power ultimately protects itself, a world where systemic racism, exploitive capitalism, and state-sponsored violence dominate and are upheld by the enforcement of law. The ruling class maintains itself by means necessary, including murder, when the state murders us. Those who are marginalized, the ones who threaten state and corporate power, the ones who are seen as quote-unquote unproductive in supporting capitalism. It is about the maintenance of its control. And since they can't murder us all, they subject us to poverty and imprisonment as alternative mechanisms of upholding their selfish power. While we are forced to be preoccupied with basic survival, there is little or no attention left for imagination, self-determination, creativity, or thriving within our community. Now, you know, the folks that wrote this, and some may be listening to this saying, yeah, but that's not true. That's not true of everybody. I get that. That's not the point. This is someone's experience. These are a group of people's experience. And what if one feels it, we all feel it in the allness of God. That is why I'm bringing it to you. You go around to the next side, and the caption says, the world we wish to see. Now, I want you to listen to this and tell me if any of this sounds familiar to what we say in our Science of Mind philosophy in Centers for Spiritual Living, that we want to make it a world that works for all, which I'm very struck by, that this is here. It says, we wish to live in a world where no one fears that their life may be suddenly taken by another, and that people can have faith in strangers, where every being has access to everything they need to live a healthy and fulfilling life without exploiting others. We dream of a world where there is clean air, water, food, and secure and comfortable shelter for everyone. Do we want that? Okay. Where all beings are treated with dignity and care, and there is no social hierarchy based on the body they were born into. A world without borders and nations. A world where rest, play, and empathy are deeply valued. A world where people have the autonomy to make decisions for themselves. And then it says, now close your eyes, take a deep breath, and my picture cut off. So I don't know what else it says, but I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath on that. Because that is a world that we want. That is a world that we aspire to. That's what that tribute in that memorial says. And I love it. I just loved seeing this. I stopped and I read it. Obviously, I was so enamored, I took pictures of it, and I reveled in it. I prayed it up. The next time I saw that, it was totally defaced. Spray painted all up. And on the other side, yes, on the other side, you see there's candles and stuff. So this was truly a tribute, right? It was totally defaced. That's profane. That's what the profane is. Now, luckily, I went back again at some point walking the lake, and someone had cleaned it up. And it was pristine yet again. So it made me think that we will not be deterred, distracted, or detained. There were many during all the points along our lifetime and before who were discouraged from marching, from talking, from supporting, from doing things that lifted us up, others up. But we will not be deterred, distracted, or detained. We are determined and resilient. I'm here to remind you of that. No matter what. And I want you to remind me of that. That no matter what profanity happens, what road rage, what does the road rage do to you, right? And then you get to wherever you're going and you're shaking or whatever it is. And do you then take it out on someone else? Do you allow your own profanity to seep in or seep out because someone lashed out on you? Sometimes we say things that may trigger people, or they say things that may trigger us, and what do? What you do with it, your response is what is important. Do you allow yourself to go to that place and spew out some of that venom on other people? I've done that. I'm here to admit it. I've done that. And you know what? I've checked myself too. Spirit has checked me to say, wait a minute. And then that's where we can allow our spiritual principles to come in. That's why I can say, forgive yourself. Because we all have some profanity in there. Let me see if you're willing to admit it. Anybody willing to admit that you've had some of that happen? Live streamers, I'm talking about you too. Right? All the hands went up. If we're honest, we get to that place. You know why? It's because we're human. We can't avoid that. But we can forgive ourselves. We can allow ourselves to say, woo, let me just take a break. Let me just step outside. Let me just go call somebody. Let me go do whatever it is you need to do to bring yourself back here and not let it take you over. So there's another experience that I want to tell you about. So I was just away on holiday, and I went to a show where something was said that I was highly insulted by, more than I knew. So I got up and I quickly left. And as I rode to my destination, tears started to fall. and I realized how upset I was. And actually, I started to cry more so. This was just not even a week ago. And then I started to wail. Like, I haven't cried like that in a long time. And I got to my destination. Luckily, I wasn't alone. And the space was created. So I just let myself just wail in sadness and in hurt. And I knew I was crying not only for myself, but I was crying for some other people too. And I let myself. And then I thought of someone in my inner circle. And so a call was made. They weren't there. I thought of somebody else. A call was made. They picked up the phone. There we are in circle. They're supporting me in my wailing. Then the other party who couldn't reach ahead of time called. So there's two phones going. Me and someone else sitting there while I'm wailing, and they're holding me in circle. You can't tell me that's not a circle of transformation and healing. When you allow yourself to go there and let that come up, that does not need to stay down there. There was a dam breaking for whatever reason it was breaking. It really didn't matter. Don't let that stay in there. That's venomous. That's poison. You're not going to be able to help create a world that works for everyone with that stuff in there. So I let it rise up. Now, I could imagine if I were in a different mindset, me saying, no, I can't go there. I can't cry like that. I can't let people see me like that. I don't want to, I could have said all kind of things. But no, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable and to be authentic, healing happens. That's the only way, people. That's the only way we're going to heal, is if we allow ourselves to go to those tender places. And some people avoid it because they don't want to go there. We have to. Use your spiritual principles. What did I do in that situation? I'm always giving myself as an example because I can. I have permission to tell on myself. And I know you're going to hold me in love because I'm teaching principle up here right now. So, you use your principle. What did I do? I let myself. I allowed. It came up. I was held in prayer. I called other people, and we held each other in prayer. And then I was reminded once, and speaking of prayer, a prayer was prayed out loud, and the word was passed. In our practitioner meeting yesterday, we were talking about prayer. And I remember saying in my group, I love when the prayer is passed. You know what that is? That's collective consciousness. That is consciousness right there. Because someone else may say something in prayer that you might not have thought to say that will touch and ignite something within you and trigger that healing to happen. So we all prayed each other up. It looked like they were praying me up, but I have to know we were being prayed up, and guess what? A whole lot of other people were being prayed up too. I was calling on the greater beings. So I was reminded that as I left I was sitting in the car actually, to go put my feet on the ground. Go touch Mother Gaia somehow. So I went up and touched the tree, the foliage on the tree. And then I found one I could actually go touch. And so I touched it and I blessed it. It helps you to ground. Nature helps you to ground. Then my vanity came back and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to look so terrible, all puffy. And I've been crying and stuff. It's like, no, don't go there. And then I realized that I had to come tell you this. Because this is the profane. And it's the sacred. It wasn't mundane, but we could think that, there's some mundane in there too. That's why those three things were put together on this topic. The mundane, the sacred, and the profane. It was a beautiful experience. And don't you know, I believe that I had to let that out in order for me to go to my highest good? How am I going to advance to whatever's next for me by staying stuck in this place because I think it's safe? Create your own safety and move yourself to the next place. Last week, Reverend Jerry asked 3 questions. Well, actually, she said the sacred, because she was talking about the sacred. The sacred is always, it was a beautiful talk, by the way. The sacred is always happening, she said, if we pay attention and attune to it. I believe that that experience that I just told you about, even though it was painful, was sacred. It was not only profane, but it was sacred. And Reverend Jerry mentioned she asked 3 questions. What changes in my awareness are needed to perceive all things sacred? It's simply my awareness. I always talk about flip it, right? So I could choose to feel like that was an awful situation, or I could choose to feel like that was a great situation and what can I learn from it? What actions must I take? What does sacred action mean to you, and how is it demonstrated in your life? So all that was happening together. That's why I bring it to you. So I ask you, what is your pet peeve? What irks you and gets on your last nerve? How many people know what that might be? Anybody? Right? Some of y'all need to think about it, right? You know why? It's better for you to know that rather than it sneak up on you and then push you someplace you didn't know that you could go. Like 0 to 60, you're somewhere else before you even realize it. And be aware of those things that cause you to make you leave your spiritual training at the door. There are some things that are probably in there. And the more you know about yourself through this reflection, then the more you know what to do with it. So don't let those things play tricks with you or wreak havoc with you, is what I'm trying to say. Be aware of those things and find ways to transmute them and to channel them and to channel that energy differently so that it's more constructive and it's not destructive. And this is how we can work with the profane. The profane is not bad. Only things that we call that are that. If we call profane bad, it is. If we call the mundane bad, like I said the first week, it is. But it doesn't have to be. Here's what Ernest Holmes says. Ernest Holmes, for those who don't know, is the founder of our philosophy, The Science of Mind. You don't have to despise your personality or say, I hate this body. I am a worm in the dust. And think you are surrendering to God. When you deny yourself, you deny God. You can call it spirit, you can call it whatever it is that you want, the higher essence. All we have to say is, there is nothing in me but God. And then that includes the profanity that I'm talking about, the profane. So with that, beloveds, I have just, I go back to that Neil Walsh reading that I selected earlier. It said, it has been said, if you don't see God in the profane and the profound, you're missing half the story. That is a great truth. God is in the sadness and the laughter and the bitter and the sweet. If we believe that God is all, right? There is a divine purpose behind everything and therefore a divine presence in everything. There is. And lastly, Thich Nhat Hanh, Vietnamese monk that is so beloved that just passed last year, says, human beings are not our enemy. Our enemy is not the other person. Our enemy is the violence, ignorance, and injustice in us and in the other person. When we are armed with compassion and understanding, we fight not against other people, but against the tendency to invade, to dominate, and to exploit. With that, beloveds, let us take this to prayer. Thank you, Reverend Catherine Sachs, for bringing up the prayer box. Practitioners who would like to surround the congregation, please do. I invite the practitioners online to stand to be with us in prayer. Oh, Holy Spirit, as Kev was playing earlier, you are welcome here. You are welcome in this divine space that you're already in, for we know that this divine presence is everywhere. It is everything, the small and the large and the small. It is here, it is there, it is everywhere, forever teeming in and of itself. It is its own creative mastery, the creative process, the creativity that comes from it. It is simply everything. And we adore it this morning. We welcome it, we worship it, whatever that it is to us. We bring it into our consciousness in gratitude and appreciation for its allness, for its eternality, for its divine presence that is everywhere, especially within each of us. And this prayer box that Reverend Catherine holds and all the prayers that are within it are blessed. They must be. For if we believe that God is all and is of all, then we know that there is divine resolution in every prayer that is requested. It must be. Giving thanks, praise, and honor for the great ways that Spirit shows up in every drop of water, from the ocean to the faucet that is leaking. The dirt of Mother Earth, where the creepy crawlers are just celebrating its richness. And the plants grow, and the trees and the roots. The skies and the galaxies that are beyond what we can imagine, but we know that they must be there. Every atom, every cell, this is God expressing in its fullness. And I know the same about our nonprofit partner this month, the Covenant House of California, who is dedicated to serving young people who are houseless and in transition and needing help and support. We bless them this morning. As we bless our world, we bless our beautiful blue planet, this beautiful place called Earth that we get to, Ms. Grady, we get to be here. We get to celebrate life. We get to know the truth. We get to flip our perspective. Instead of seeing war, we get to see peace. Instead of seeing illness, we get to know wholeness and health. Instead of seeing unemployment, which may be somebody's real experience, we get to know through our philosophies and our beliefs that there is right and perfect employment waiting. There is money and resource overflowing in abundance, because this is an abundant universe. This is what we name and claim. This is what I proclaim right now, and I invite you in your heart of hearts to proclaim it with me. The elimination of war, the idea of war, the action of war, anything that is profane, even though it is of God, is our opportunity to know love, to know health, to know truth, to know trust and faith, and to know all the good and the great in God. As I do for each and every person that we are praying for on our prayer list today, as I call their name, I know that whatever their circumstance is that required them to even reach out for prayer, that we are knowing their wholeness and their upliftment right now in ways that they can feel and believe and see. We know this for Erin Stewart and her son Savoy. For Miss Rita Cotton, who just turned 102 yesterday, blessing her. Miss Mary Morissette, and George Carter. We know their health, well-being, wholeness, truth, and love right where they are. As we do for the family of Christine Anderson, our beloved Christine, as we prepare to celebrate her life and her livingness here on December 9th here in this center, blessing their family in their grief, her family in their grief, and knowing love and peace and comfort. And so now is the time in this prayer where we co-created together, where I fling the doors open wide for you to speak your name aloud. And the names or the situations of anyone for whom you are praying, now is the time, beloveds. My hands are outstretched wide as I hear these names continuing to be called, and as we lift each and every one up in this vortex of love, this container, sacred container of love and healing and transformation that we are holding together today. We name and claim this truth, and we know it can be no other way. I know this. So in gratitude and thanksgiving, I cast this word out into the divine ethers, knowing that it is activated by love and law, and that it cannot, it shall not, it will not return to me void, for it must be fulfilled, and it must rain down blessings upon us that shower us with its goodness and its fulfillment. And I say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this completion. Thank you for your love. And we simply allow this to be the truth and expect it with joy and joyous expectancy. And I open this up for you to close this prayer however you would want. Say it out loud, whether it's in so it is. Amen. Praise God. Yes, it is. Ashe. Namaste. Peace be unto us. It is done. It is done. It is done. Let's take a breath on that, beloveds. Thank you, practitioners. Thank you, everyone, for holding your hearts open in this way. And so as Reverend Jerry prepares to come up to talk about the 2024 Pledge Campaign, and she's done a lovely job at that. We're in our pledge season, but I just want to lift it up a little higher and say that we can't beat God's giving. And so I want you to get into I'm calling it a game, the giving game, but it's not a game, really. It's the activity, the intentional activity of giving and receiving. It's the law of circulation. So we have the opportunity to make a commitment to this center. And I appreciate you doing that in whatever ways work best for you. Reverend Jerry?
Good morning. I'm Reverend Jerry Carter, and I am honored to be a staff minister here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. This is a very special place, isn't it? And Reverend Sunshine, thank you for your beautiful talk. Let's give you some more love. I definitely had an aha during that talk, and I hope that you did as well. So our pledge campaign is coming to a close, and first of all, I want to thank everyone who has supported the 2024 pledge by completing your 2024 pledge card, which can be found in the backs of the seats or online. This is a very important time for our center and for our Board of Trustees and for Reverend Sunshine Michelle, because the budget is being planned. And this card allows us an opportunity to plan even greater and grander for 2024 than we've already done. So it's very important. So thank you so much, those of you who have completed your card. Thank you to those of you online, and I know that there's more to come. You can see our galaxy poster, our Brighter Horizons, is getting brighter and brighter with more and more stars. And I will be available at the poster during our giving time. If you have your card completed and you'd like to put your star on the poster, I am inviting you to do so. Next Sunday is the completion of our campaign, but not the completion of your opportunity to complete your 2024 pledge card. We will celebrate next week with cake, so join us in the social hall. And just know that it's never too late to give, so even after the weekend, you still have an opportunity. But what happens is by pledging by next weekend gives our Board of Trustees and Reverend Sunshine Michelle that opportunity to plan the budget even in a stronger way. So just sharing that with you. And, you know, I think it's really important, Reverend Sunshine mentioned it, knowing that the abundance of the universe is everywhere present, and that we can't outgive God. And so how good is that? Because as we step into this law of circulation, as we give, we receive, and it just continues on in our life experience, especially when we pay close attention to what is showing up in our lives. We've heard testimonials from individuals. Actually, I didn't choose a person today, but if there's someone with a burning desire to give a testimonial about the givingness and the goodness that happens in their life as a result of these teachings and this spiritual community, come up. Is there anyone? Okay, Dodie, please come on up. That would be wonderful. Thank you. Hi.
I have been thinking and knowing that Reverend Jerry was going to ask me, but she didn't. But I said, what if Reverend Jerry asked me, what would you do? Okay, I'm from a Baptist church, and we used to always sing this song every time there was a collection. And you can sing it with me if you like. You know, we say pray and play, so play with me. You can't be God-giving, no matter how you try. Just as sure as you are giving, the Lord is in heaven on high. And the more you give, the more God gives to you. Just keep on giving, because it's really true. I love that song. And in the Baptist church, they always did it. They always sang it during collection. Well, when I came to Religious Science Church, they do this one. Give, and it shall be given to you. Multiply, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And I thought, oh, that's so interesting. And then I checked out shaken together and all of that. It had to do with when people got crops or something, seeds or grain, they put them in the bag, it would fill the bag up. But by the time they got to their location, things had settled, and the bag wouldn't be full anymore. Kind of like when we open cereal boxes and it's not full. Anyway, you say, Dodie, well, where does it put you? Well, let me tell you. I used to write my check out, and anytime I go on vacation or anything, I didn't give to the church because I thought, incidentals, I'll buy me something or something. So I didn't give. But I started to do the pledge. And the reason I did the pledge is because I don't do that to myself anymore. Oh, I might have incidentals, so since I'm not gonna be at church, I'm not gonna give at church. But I don't do that anymore. I let it go automatically, and I love it. And I do have incidentals when I go on vacation. But the interesting thing is, I always have the money to take care of it. There you go.
Oh, goodness. Thank you, Dodie, for answering the call. That message, that invitation was subliminal, of course. So see yourself in the flow of giving and receiving. Can you see yourself in that flow? Don't pray for more. Pray for a greater awareness of how the omnipresence of abundance in the universe shows up in your experience, in your life, here and now. So when you begin to give freely and release your need to control, the outcome of how your good will be returned to you, let me say that one more time. When you begin to give freely and release your need to control the outcome of how your good will be returned to you, letting that go, you make it possible for the good to appear. Let me illustrate just real briefly too. This is a story about a songwriter who found herself in the red financially. Several clients owed her money. Rather than spend her time and energy worrying about what she didn't have, she affirmed that the universe will take care of me. It always does. I'm sick of worrying. So if we can release our worrying and open ourselves up to the greater good of the universe, it does flow in. So she went to her post office where she discovered a check from a musician whom she had gifted one of her songs. She had given her song freely without any expectation or asking for any royalty because she knew the musician would create a beautiful rendition of it. Her good was multiplied and returned to her in an unexpected way. So be open to receiving those unexpected gifts from the universe because they're everywhere present. So let us take that in. I want to share that because it is Thanksgiving week, and I didn't say too much about the gratitude journals, but being in gratitude really calls forth more goodness and more abundance in our lives. There should be some more journals out there for anyone who wasn't here last week. Write down 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 things every day that you're grateful for because they're everywhere around us. Last week, Margot shared the beauty of the garden and the beauty of the flowers, and there's just so much that as we pay close attention to, we can be grateful for, and that does open us up to receiving more good in our lives as well. Also on the table, there is a Thanksgiving prayer that you might choose to use for your Thanksgiving Day celebration. And then I mentioned this before. This is an affirmation from our Science of Mind. It is, I always have an abundance of money. Share with me. I always have an abundance of money, an abundance of whatever it takes, and an abundance of whatever it takes to make life happy and opulent. To make life happy and opulent. There is a continuous movement toward me of supply, of money, of all that I need to express the fullest life, happiness, and action. So this is a little affirmation for you as well. So moving on, this is our conscious giving time, yes? And many of us give automatically. It's our conscious giving time of giving gifts to our community right here and right now. And there are many ways to give. We have the donate button on our website, and when you hit that button, you'll get to the donate page where you can very easily make your donation, your contribution using Zelle or text to give, or you can mail your donation. And we have cards for you in the back of the seats or envelopes for you to put your gift in. This is a way of identifying so that you'll receive a statement at the end of the year that thanks you for your givingness of spirit and allows us to honor you and to appreciate you for your givingness. So use the envelope if you choose. Our baskets are prepared. Let us put our gift to our heart and let us say our giving affirmation with vigor. As I embrace my awareness of abundance, my good flows easily and I am supplied continually. And so it is. So our musicians are coming up. And we are going to open our floor for having you bring your gift to our baskets. I'll be over at the poster with the stars.
Don't you ever stop looking for your higher self. Stay up. And maybe the more that you believe, the more that you will see the strength in God. God will lead you there. God will lead you there. Oh, God will lead you there. God will lead you there. A treasure God's love is will always show up for you if you crave completion. God will lead you there. God will lead you there. God will lead you there.
So beautiful. One more thing I want to say is we have some flowers coming up that were handmade by Nancy Hester, who's standing up in the orange. She is dedicating this. It's handmade by her, and she says, "This arrangement is from my heart to yours. May this holiday season bring you much love, peace of mind, and joyful family gatherings." Thank you so much, Nancy.
Those are really pretty. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, what a great service. Wonderful, wonderful. We appreciate everyone who participated in service today. Your presence makes a difference. So we'd like to thank our amazing musicians as always. Oh, Valentina and Kev. What a blessing, what a blessing. And of course, our beloved Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle, our practitioners, and everyone who contributed to today's service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so if you came in a little bit late and you're visiting for the first time and you haven't received a visitor's packet, please pick one up in the back of the sanctuary. Well, actually, pick one up at the table in the front, in the foyer. That would be great. Glad you're here. Now, our practitioners love to pray, and we offer many services to support your well-being. such as, well, there's prayer right after service in the back there. And you can, if you come back, and please do, because prayer is what we're about here. We request that you wear a mask because it's really kind of close in there, so that would be good. And many practitioners offer spiritual coaching sessions. You can find us online or in the foyer in the social hall for our contact information, and we do love to give private sessions as well. And you can also request prayer through the Ministry of Prayer on the website, the Ministry of Prayer. Or right in the back, you saw the box up here. In the back, there's that box, and you can write down your prayer and put it in a box. And it will be prayed on for a couple of weeks. So take that opportunity as well. All right, well, we have a closing affirmation. If you want to stand, you may. I invite you to. Here we go. Regardless of society's definition of the profane, I declare that there is only oneness in and of God, and I am a part of it, always, whether sacred, profane, or mundane. Oh my. All right, stick around for the closing community song. Thank you so much.
Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks for all that is. Give praise, give praise, give praise, give praise, give praise for all that is. There will never ever be another day just like this day, so let's give thanks now. Selah, 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 Selah for all that is. Ashe, 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 Ashe for all that is. There will never ever be another day just like this day, so let's give thanks now. There will never ever be another day just like this day, so let's give praise now. Let's give thanks and namaste and selah and ashe. Give thanks for all that is. For all that is. Thanks. Everyone have a beautiful Sunday. Thank you.